All right, in this tree, before birth, 98% of all experiences and beliefs got into you. Now, I don't know about you, at 7 years old, it happens actually between the birth and 7 years old is when all the information comes in. Now, you're the gatekeeper at that gate of what you let in, but when you're 4 years old, 5 years old, guess what? The whole world is like a place to explore, right? And some of us grew up in different kinds of environments, different kinds of families, different kinds of schools. And so you're open, you're wide open, and all of that information comes in as it should. But some of it, like in the house I grew up, I had a very abusive mother. And that got in. And I didn't know until I was like 9 years old that you're not stupid for knocking over the milk. You know how often a 5-year-old knocks over their milk? And if you get called stupid every time you do that, guess what you do a lot of? Knocking over the milk. Because fear starts to enter the equation. But when you're 5 years old, that stuff goes down here, into the roots, into the belief structure of the human mind. Because it's not judgmental about what it allows in. So in doing that, as we go forward today a little bit, just understand that about 2% of the conscious mind is what really is here present right now. You're hearing me talk to you, that's your conscious mind listening. You're interpreting it, if it makes sense, if you understand it, that's your conscious mind. That little voice that talks to you, that we're having fun with, that's the conscious mind. But that's only a very small percent of your reality. The lion's share of what's running the show is the 98% subconscious mind underneath the soil. That's what got in. And it's been there ever since. It's like the programming of a computer. And so that's natural. That's how it works. And down here, when you have a thought at least 21 times over a period of time, it turns into a habit. And it turns into a belief. And then it becomes a reality. And you don't even call it a belief. You go, no, that's just real. That's the way it is. Ever talk to somebody like that? Whether it's in business or in relationships or your family, that's just the way it is. That is a core belief that lives down here where you can't see it. Over here, you have one branch that this is maybe relationships, this is maybe your family, this is maybe you, this is maybe red canoe over here. That's the branch that we all play in on the tree. But what affects the decisions we make up here is what? It filters through, and if fear is the core belief down here, it's going to go and filter through fear, and it can affect the decisions you make. Does it sound logical? Now, we go very, very deep into this over the 3 days. You need to understand how your mind works if you have any chance on making a significant change. You must understand it so you could rewire the antenna called the brain of the different kind of thinking you must have if you want to live a life of joy and bliss and happy. It is possible. But you must affect the roots. Now, most people say, well, I mean, I have to go back and dig up the roots? No, and you don't make them wrong. You don't need to process it. You don't need to go through therapy for 20, 30 years to analyze why you think that. Why is a booby prize? You need to have a way to change it. When your computer does something, it does something because of the software you put in it, correct? It doesn't have a choice. The monitor doesn't have a choice which key you press. So when you're stimulated in your world, whether it's at work or it's at home, it's stimulation down here, but whatever tag of awareness, the decision that you made, the emotions that wrapped around it here is going to filter its way up there. Hi, if you really like that video, please subscribe. That way you can get notifications of future videos I'm excited to share with you. Also, feel free to comment below. I get a lot of the subject matter from you, so I can address the topics that you want to hear the most about. And if you want to know more about our live events, go to my website listed below. Looking forward to meeting you in person.